Here we have a 2016 on a 16 registration Neoplan P21 Tourliner, 53 seat, PSVAR compliant executive coach. Now, this vehicle is fresh back from certification this morning, hasn't even been back to its operator, which is Simpson's Coaches up in Aberdeenshire. Very good operator, as we all know. Not only has it had a PSVR conversion, it's also been upseated to 53 with a toilet. As you can see, we're at Holmeswood, so it's been organised by Base Coach Sales through the Moby People factory. Near side, you can't see any difference. Power centre door is fitted. Alloy wheels. No worries about any sort of bodywork. Euro 6 400 horsepower MAN engine driven through MAN's automated Tipmatic gearbox, which is essentially a rebadged ZF AS-tronic. Reverse cameras also fitted. Now the near side is where we see how good this conversion is, because obviously I'm seeing more and more conversions, but this one has had probably the least effect on the bodywork. You can see we've got parallel lift lockers. Now normally you'd be expecting to see a wheelchair lift somewhere in there, but you haven't got the wheelchair lift in there. It's above the wheel arch, so you've literally got the same luggage space as when you started. So this conversion does not take any luggage space. That's a good thing. Whilst Base is a coach dealer, we've got to remember they're also a coach operator, so they're thinking like an operator when they're doing this. Side mounted wheelchair lift. They've even put the side LED destination display in the door, so not having to sort of cut a hole in the stretch panel to fit that in. All very, very well thought out. As we jump on board, we've still got the plastic on the steps to protect them. We now have 53 keel reclining seats, and they, if we brighten up a bit, sun doesn't help, does it? They've got 3-point seat belts, leather piping and headrest inserts. We're fitted with a wood effect floor, and to me it doesn't really look like we've compromised much on legroom. Probably most legroom compromise is here on the offside behind the toilet, but you've got to remember we're ticking a lot of boxes, because we've now got a 12.2 metre vehicle, so it's the perfect length, with 53 seats in and a toilet, which ticks a box for a lot of people, and it's PSVAR compliant, and it's Euro 6. We've got trays to the seat backs, and what they've done with the floor here to make it, they've completely rebuilt it, because rather than have a sunken gangway, they've put an extra step at the front where I'll show you shortly, and then what they've done, they've dropped it in the middle, very much like on a Starliner, so you're still getting the headroom you need when you get to the centre of the coach. We've got a centre sunken toilet. As with Simpson's vehicles, we don't have a drinks facility. Wired for DVD with two monitors. Can tell it's the end of a long week. Friday afternoon, should be at home drinking wine in my garden. We've got a couple of double seats on quick release tracking, which you can see down there, so that drops you to 49 plus one wheelchair. So in theory, from how this coach was originally built, you've not lost any seat and you've gained a wheelchair, if that makes sense. Very, very impressed, I have to say. And as I am with the Bueller's that Base are organising, they've really thought this through. Dashboard is in good order, and you've got the multifunction steering wheel. This vehicle's done just a midges over 200,000 kilometres from new. The only downside is there is a crack in the windscreen virtually from one side to the other, so obviously we would replace that prior to sale. You've got lane departure warning and automated emergency braking. And just looking back up the coach while we're talking about this, a lot of people hear MAN and they worry a little bit. Now, we all know MAN had a disaster with Euro 5. You know, MAN won't deny it. you know, a lot of it was down to, I say a lot of it, some of it was down to people not knowing what to look for. If you could prevent the EGR valve going, then, you know, you'd save a lot of money and a lot of damage. But because of that and all the bad publicity, MAN had to get it right for Euro 6. They could not afford to get it wrong, because if they hadn't got it right, they'd have been out of business. Simple as that. They have. This is a good, strong engine. They've moved away from EGR to SCR technology, so where Euro 4 and 5 MANs didn't have AdBlue, these have. And they're just a totally different vehicle, to be honest. In fact, I've got an operator who prefers his MANs over his VDLs, believe it or not. There's a fridge in the dash, courier seat. And as I said, it's not even gone back to the operator yet. This is straight out of the test station, straight out of the factory being converted. So to recap, it is now a 2016 on a 16 registration, Neoplan P21 Tourliner, PSVAR compliant, 53 seat executive coach.